The name Garry McCoy is synonymous with Australian motorcycle racing after a stellar career that saw the Sydney side winning races in the 500cc and 125cc classes, as well as victories in rounds of the World Superbike Championship. His rise to prominence in the early 90s was spectacular. As a youngster, he honed his skills in motocross prior to moving into speedway with moderate success. He then made the transition to road racing, and just 4 months into his asphalt career, he landed a ride in a round of the 125cc World Championship. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah, it was basically from about 5 years of age. My parents bought me a little bike, and it started with gymkhana and then went to, basically riding around in paddocks like all the kids do, and eventually going into motocross. And then my father knew quite a few people in Speedway, obviously, because he used to race Speedway solos himself, and decided to go Speedway. I mean, I love the sport with a passion. It's a great sport, and I really wanted to get, high profile in the Speedway industry.
So how did the transition from Speedway to road racing come about?
It's funny, it was a tight-knit community of the road racers. Anthony Gobert, Matthew Mladen, myself, later on Aaron Gobert and Alex, of course, Glenn Allerton. We've all come from a very similar area. But yeah, I was hanging out with Matthew Mladen at the time, and he won the 250 production class that year in Australia, and it put him straight onto the Team Kawasaki Australia factory ride. So I just thought, wow, that was a real kind of easy transition. I mean, it's not as easy as it looks always, but yeah, it definitely looked a lot easier than, because I'd saved up a heap of money to go to England to race Speedway, and it just would have been pretty hard work to try and make it over there, that's for sure.
Once deciding to go road racing, the late great Barry Sheen helped McCoy land a 125cc ride at Eastern Creek, and it was a spectacular debut.
I got a third at Eastern Creek, but the first win was actually in Malaysia, and then I won later on that year at Eastern Creek as well.
It wasn't long before Garry set his sights on a career in the 500cc class.
I was kind of really hoping to go straight into it. I mean, Matthew Mladen went from Superbike straight into the 500s on the Kajiva, and we both used to sort of train together and ride around on, CR 500s or big 500 two-stroke machines, and I really believed, I could have handled it, but my path just ended up down the 125. That was sort of where the doors were open for me, and that's where I had to go if I wanted to go overseas and ride in the World Championship.
After many years living abroad, Garry is firmly settled back in Australia, and he's launched Garry McCoy Coaching.
Like you said, basically I just want to help all the young kids and try and put them through pretty much the same course that I went through, I mean, it just starts from riding at a young age. I think dirt is very important, and that's what I'm really plugging through GMC Kuya. I've got flat tracks and speedway tracks and this, natural terrain motocross, and then I've got a few other little circuits that you can train on as well. So it's really just putting them all through their ropes, and then when they, get onto the road, it just makes it so much easier. It really does.
Meanwhile, Garry says he's very impressed with the progress the Australian Superbike Championship has made in the past 2 years.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, the last couple of years I did notice there was a bit of a fall in it, and it really needed to be picked up. But what I've seen, what's been happening this year, it's really great to see. And at the same time, I want to again try and work in with MA and get some of these kids and even older people, whoever it is, to come out to GMC Kuya and get the thing sideways.
Garry McCoy will be remembered as one of the best all-round motorcycle racers Australia has ever produced, and he gained significant notoriety for being one of the few riders in the sport that got the job done without the assistance of high-tech electronics.
I think it's just all them days on the dirt, on big 500cc two-stroke machines. you know, they're just like riding a wild bull, and you just need to work it out and try and keep it in control. And I mean, Wayne Rainey was one of my idols. He was the one I really looked up to when I went into road racing, and we actually used to speak at the track, you know, before he had his accident and all. And yeah, it's good to hear, but I think, yeah, it is a small talent. A lot of the people out there now are just riding with electronics, and it looks quite easy.